About 10 years ago, my wife and I decided to do something crazy. We decided to take all 6 of our kids, rent a 15-passenger van and drive from Boise, Idaho to San Francisco to take a cool vacation and create memories. And we created a lot of fun memories, a lot of cool stuff happened, but the coolest thing of all, I think, and my wife would, I'm sure, agree with this, was when we were driving back, we didn't let the kids use their electronic devices. We made them talk to each other, have fun together, and those kind of things. And on the way back, we kind of listened. Shelly and I were sitting in the front, and we were listening to the kids in the back talking, and somehow or another they got on the subject of dating. And my 2 oldest sons were already dating. They were beyond 16, and they were dating, and they were doing their thing. But it got around to Chloe. And all my sons took turns saying, you know, we're going to watch who you date, and you better date a good guy. And they were just going through these little patterns, and Chloe was just smiling and grinning. And I could see my wife kind of watching and listening very closely. And at one point, after a few minutes of each of them giving their, you know, sage advice, as sage as it can be for teenagers and kids, she said something that made my wife and I tear up. And Chloe said, "I'm just going to date somebody like my brothers." And I remember it was just, Shelly and I both heard it at the same time, and we looked at each other, and both of our eyes just welled up with tears. And Shelly said to me, she said, "You have taught our boys how to treat women by the way you've treated me. And you have taught Chloe how she should expect to be treated by the way you've treated me." And she said, "Thank you for doing that." And I remember, I'm like, holy crap, I never really thought about that, how our kids learn patterns of relationships and love and kindness and compassion a lot of times from us parents. They learn them from a lot of places, certainly. But if they see good patterns in our home that produce good results, a lot of times they'll pick up on those. And in that moment, Shelly and I both realized that Chloe had seen that and was using that as a pattern, and it made us really proud. And frankly, Chloe is now 18, and she's dating, and I have yet to see her hang out with friends that weren't good for her or date young men who weren't pretty dang good young men. So it works if you can, you know. And I would say this, I wasn't trying to do that, but my wife brought it to my attention, and how cool is that? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.